How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Saturn Slam Review. Checking out some hot wrestling action from the 5th of February.
Yep.
Year of our Lord 2020.
That's correct. This is wrestling. Talking about wrestling.
Pretty good couple pretty good shows this week. I thought the main event of Dynamite was lacking, but I liked the rest of the show, and NXT was a fantastic show all the way through. So props to both. I believe the ratings were 770 for NXT, 928 for AEW. So another win for AEW. I think that's going to be the norm for a while. But remember, famously, that WCW won 83 weeks in a row. And they did not ultimately win the war. Not that I think this is even going to be comparable to that. At least I hope not. I hope AEW doesn't mismanage their finances to the extremes that WCW did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's seems to be a pattern both in terms of number of viewers and results. AEW's consistently been around the low 900s, high 800s, and NXT's been consistently around the high 700s, low 800s.
Their viewerships have been locked in for the most part for a little while here until something crazy happens to shake up the formula.
Which NXT tried for with bringing in a certain main roster star this evening. But we'll discuss that in time. Let's start with Dynamite, as we've kind of gotten into the habit of doing here.
Okay.
So, show opened up with a match between Jon Moxley and Ortiz. Ortiz targeted Moxley's eye patch with strikes. He sent Moxley eye first into the steps to get the heat. Yeah, it's weird to say out loud.
Eye first.
Ortiz uses a camel clutch. Moxley came back with figure four, suicide dive, and then a boss man slam. Ortiz sent Moxley over the ropes. Santana got involved to provide a distraction. Moxley sent Ortiz into Santana. He then teased the paradigm shift, but it was blocked. He then hit a double arm DDT, but not the elevated paradigm shift. But he got the flash pin out of nowhere. Afterwards, Santana jumped Moxley, but Moxley fought him off and get out his eye with the
key
to the Ford GT.
Which that's the real reason they did the whole card thing, is so they could do key spots.
Long-term booking. Moxley said to Jericho an eye for an eye before stabbing him. So Jericho was on commentary for this match also, I believe.
Right. He was weirdly slow about getting into the ring. He's like, oh no, this is bad. Oh no, this is bad. Until he gets him. And he's like, oh shit, I actually got to get out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting thing I didn't even think of until just now. Medical personnel attend to Santana. This was a good segment to further the feud between Moxley and Jericho. Moxley gets a little bit of his heat back, so that's nice. We had Best Friends versus SCU.
Yep.
First half of this was just all action. There's some standard sequences. The tackle, drop down, leapfrog, yada yada. Trent speared Sky onto the floor, and Kazarian hit a German suplex on Trent on the floor. Taylor hit a flipping neck breaker off the steps to Kazarian, and all four men were down. Orange Cassidy approached them and laid down to join the group. That was his big spot for the night.
Yep. There you go. Well, he had one other spot later.
I mean, well, yeah, he looked like he was going to challenge the Dark Order, but he got
gang beat. Yep.
Trent sold the damage from the suplex for the rest of the match. SCU took over after Kazarian hit a swinging DDT. Trent made his comeback with some knee strikes. The finish saw Sky dropkick Kazarian in the back as Kazarian hit a destroyer on Trent for the pin. I much prefer that to the SCU later in terms of finishes.
I have to agree.
After the match, the Dark Order came down. They laid waste to the two teams. Orange Cassidy climbed into the ring. Dark Order offered him a match. He refused, and then he got beat down. Chris Daniels ran in for the save. He dared the Dark Order to come after him, but they retreated. Commentary team still put over the fact that we still have yet to learn the identity of the Exalted One. I like this match. This was one of the better tag team matches I'd seen. I don't think it's any, or at least in AEW, I should say. But I don't think it's any coincidence that coincided with this being one of the more within the rules tag team matches I've seen in AEW to this point. The Dark Order stuff, I mean, they're doing their thing. I don't necessarily like it, but it's what they're doing.
Yeah, we'll see if they can find an angle to turn it up, raise the stakes a little bit.
Yeah, well, hopefully when they reveal the Exalted One, it'll take a more defined shape.
Yeah, that would be nice if they actually were able to recruit someone.
I've heard Matt Hardy's name floated around.
Okay,
that'd be a reasonably big get for them. Yuka Sakazaki defeated Britt Baker. Britt Baker's heel character has been very good for her, but the work in the ring is still hit or miss, and there's a little more miss than hit lately, it seems. This wasn't a particularly great match. They did get good heat where she broke her teeth.
Yeah. I bought in for a few seconds and I'm like, wait a second. I think I get it now. It's all come together.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this segment other than what I've said.
Yep. Passing over it.
The 8-man tag with Omega, Hangman Page, the Young Bucks, Butcher Blade, and Lucha Bros was actually really good. They when the Bucks were in there, it was at its best, but their action was limited. All sorts of crazy moves got thrown out here. This was a crazy, chaotic 8-man tag, but it did actually tell a story, and that story furthered a plot. The story of the match was that Hangman Page does not care for the Young Bucks. He'd fit right in here. And
no tags for you.
He didn't tag any of them in. He would only tag in Omega, and as a consequence, he lost the match.
Whoops.
So
wow. That lets the Butcher and the Blade get an actual win.
And the Lucha Bros 2 teams that desperately needed wins to help boost their credibility. And I thought they all acquitted themselves quite well in the match in terms of the action. I mean, the Bucks do their match. It's largely the same match every time. If you like that match, then you enjoy their stuff. If you don't like that match, then you don't enjoy their stuff. That's pretty much what it is.
It's said that some directors work on one movie their entire lives. The Bucks wrestle one match their whole career.
They're the Scorsese.
That I like that because it works both ways.
Yeah. After break, Shivani was in the ring with Omega. Pac was showing up on screen, screaming, "Notice me, senpai." He went after Riho this time. And then Nyla Rose laid Riho out and then turned to the camera to challenge Riho for the title. Why she did not look at Riho to issue this challenge, I do not know.
side thing I also was a little disappointed by. Riho, like I get the size difference and the strength difference, yes, totally, between Pac and Riho. I was kind of sad that the women's champion didn't even at least try and maybe like I got to do this.
Yeah.
No courage, no nothing. She's just like, ah.
Yeah,
Again,
that was.
understandable, but like wrestling here.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't want her. You don't want your champion to look scared. Like that's one of the reasons why Seth Rollins failed so hard once he got into this feud with the Fiend, because he would like shriek like he was being stalked by Jason fucking Voorhees. Uh, no, you're the fucking Universal Champion. Show a backbone. Stand up to the person.
Yeah, even if you're not gonna win, the courage is what you need to show.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree. Like many criticisms of the booking of the women's division, Riho as champion, and the booking of her as champion, right near the top of that list for me. I think someone just has to take the book away from Kenny Omega if he's really the guy booking the women's division, because he's not a good booker.
Give it to who's Sergeant Freddie Mercury, Sergeant Pepper lady?
Emi Sakura.
Yeah, she seems to have experience.
Yeah,
she may not be, huge talent in the ring.
Hire someone. Try to poach Ryan Ward from WWE. He was the guy who was writing NXT when their women's division was ramping up, and SmackDown when they put a lot of focus on the women, or just give it to someone with more experience internally. Like,
right?
I don't fucking know. You got a bunch of people with a bunch of wrestling experience in this company,
right? Especially with the women's division.
Yeah.
So it's an eternal puzzle that will take them probably the rest of this year to figure out.
Yeah, I mean they've had good shows. They're not like on the chopping block with me anymore. But there's definitely things they need to work out on like both a storytelling side and a technical side. Yeah. Like they need to put together more cohesive shows, because it does. Some episodes of Dynamite feel like they were booked by completely different people that don't talk to each other.
Which is weird considering the size of the company.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of sad when WWE, with their giant corporate bloat, can put together like more cohesive shows than at least tonally than
you need a continuity booker to fucking keep it all cohesive. That's like I think that's a thing on like TV shows, like written TV shows, where they have a guy who's just like, all right, like Jonathan Frakes is directing the episode, Jon Favreau is directing this episode, like Alex Kurtzman is directing this episode. I gotta like keep it kind of straight here, keep it cohesive.
Yeah,
AEW needs one of those.
Kip Sabian wrestled Joey Janela. This match was fine. There really wasn't anything particularly noteworthy about it. Jericho and the Inner Circle cut a promo backstage. Santana promised an eye for an eye next week.
Eye for an eye for an eye.
Yeah, the whole world's going to be blind. They're all going to be blind by the time we get to Revolution.
Please? Can we please have a fucking... That's a real dark match.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. The Bucks confronted Paige backstage. They wanted to know what happened out there and what his problem is. Matt says he thinks he knows what the problem is, insinuating that it's alcohol. He said if Paige keeps it up, he'll lose the tag titles next week. So I don't know if that's the story they're going for here. Fucking alcoholic Hangman Page. I hope not. I think it's far more interesting to just have him be the devil may care guy when he's with the Elite, because he doesn't really like them.
Yeah.
And like, not fucking be like, this man has a disease, that's why he turned heel.
This is the fucking this is like that episode of Rick and Morty. Was it the Defenders, the Avengers or whatever? They're like the Avengers rip off
Yeah.
where they have the main guy. He's like, my drinking is fun and enjoyable. Your drinking is sad and pathetic.
Yeah.
And like everyone, I like how they played it off where he's like, they take his beer away and he's like, no, it's cool. I got a pitcher.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
That was my favorite part of it. I laughed audibly.
Fun beers.
Santana versus Moxley was officially announced for next week.
Yep.
A tag team battle royal was announced for 2 weeks in Atlanta, with the winning team getting a title shot at Revolution. I bet you it's gonna be the Bucks. And a Pac versus Omega 30-minute Iron Man match was announced for 3 weeks from tonight. So,
okay.
If you didn't like the 35 minutes of wrestling they put on in their prior 2 matches, then boy, are you gonna love the 30 minutes they do in this Iron Man match.
Well, I feel like unless I'm, completely forgotten what the fucking Iron Man match is, right? You should be able to maybe wrestle at a little faster pace because you don't have to wait for you don't have to hinge everything around one pin.
Well, there's 2 schools of thought to the Iron Man match. There's the WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match where there's no falls, or like only 1 fall in the time limit, and then you go to extra time or whatever, or maybe it's just a narrow victory. And then there's the Judgment Day 2000 principle where it's like, we have all this shit we can do. We're just like, 5-4. That's a good way to book the match. So depending upon if they think they're more Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, or if they think they're a little more The Rock and Triple H, will depend upon the number of falls.
I guess we'll see.
Dustin cut a pre-tape promo. He told MJF his brother is a lot tougher than MJF thinks. And then this is the main event, lashing. So this whole segment goes on way too fucking long. And the worst, I know AEW can't control what the other guy is booking, but after just watching Daniel Bryan in a strap match with The Fiend, where he got, hit far more than 10 times with the leather strap.
Yeah.
To see like Cody struggle so mightily to take 10 lashes with a belt, which is less than like I got as a kid for a bad report card. It made him look like such a fucking pussy.
I don't know. Yeah, it was really rough. It was also, I'm sorry, I have to bring this up. It was there was a weird sexual tension during this segment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was like, Wrestle with the Package should have had a field day with this one. Where he's like fucking shirtless, and MJF's like, let me take your belt. And as he's doing it, he slowly takes his shirts off until he's in a fucking tank top. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, boys, you're laying on a little thick.
Yeah, I was like fucking looking at my phone and looking back up because the segment did not hold my attention. I remember
Cody's
looking
like on
down
his
and
knees
looking
with
back
MJF.
up, and MJF has like no clothes on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Everyone came out to watch.
Yeah, like everyone's a fucking voyeurist or an exhibitionist in the AEW locker room.
Oh god, it's just fucking yeah. So he gets like the 10 lashes off with one guest lash from Wardlow. This is beer pong rules.
Yeah, like they told fucking Dustin's like, let me take the rest of the lashes. He's like, you can't, and he's like, I'm giving a lash to Wardlow, which sure, whatever. But like they act like you fucking got hit with a cinder block when Wardlow hit him with this belt. I'm like, it's still a fucking belt.
And then as soon as that happens, one commenter said it best: MJF and Wardlow fucking Looney Tunes their way out of the stadium.
Yeah, MJF kicks Cody in the balls and they fucking run out through the crowd.
It's the feds. Cheese it.
Pretty much. This was a old school segment on a night where I don't think that was working, and the crowd was like bored by this. I was bored by this. This was a failure of a segment, and they built their whole show around it, which I was not expecting them to make this the main event of an episode of Dynamite. I figured they'd like put it in the middle or at the top of the second hour. But nope, they're like, we're building the whole show around this.
Yep. And not a great look.
Call. Yeah. Thankfully, NXT was a much better main event and a better show overall, I'd say. The live show opened with a Broserweights victory parade.
Of course.
They came out in a golf cart with their trophy up on the roof.
Trophy.
Matt Riddle's being Matt Riddle, and Pete Dunne's just staring stone-faced the entire time. They got in there, and Riddle said they were celebrating their tournament win. The party continues with their new vehicle, which he called the Broserweight Mobile. Dunne said the last thing he thought he'd ever do was team with Riddle. It was meant to be, bro, Riddle replied. Dunne vowed they would win the NXT championships at TakeOver Portland. Then Fish and O'Reilly came out. Undisputed Era were scoffing at their audacity, and Strong ran down to whisper in their ears, presumably take them down. Fish said they had bigger fish to fry as they began to leave, and then Riddle got over. Not only did he say this on live TV, he got it over, and the crowd chanted around. He got over, how much fish would Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? And he did it in every possible permutations. He sung it low. He sung it high. And the crowd chanted along. It was incredible.
Only the fucking Florida crowd could this happen.
Yes, this is not going to happen in arenas. I don't know, though. Matt Riddle has this weird charisma about him.
Yeah, I really don't know. Because he's not, like, energetic in that way. He's just got that surfer dude swag.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's just got that calm surfer dude sort of mentality, and people respond to that.
On the surface, he looks calm and ready. Mama spaghetti.
Mama's spaghettis. Dunne said not to worry about how much fish Bobby Fish could fry. And then he said, after the crowd chanted along, saying that all that matters is the Broserweights are going to smoke the Undisputed Era at TakeOver. Angel Garza wrestled and beat Isaiah Swerve Scott in what was a great match. So I guess that answers the question of, is Angel Garza just going to be up on Raw now? Evidently not, because he was here tonight and he wrestled a very good match with Swerve Scott, who continues to impress. I think this man should be, I guess he's in the Cruiserweight title picture, but they should definitely feature him regularly. He is quite good. Garza won with the wing clipper, and he cut a promo after the match where he demanded a shot at the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Understandable. Undisputed Era was backstage searching for Ciampa. They were asking around about his whereabouts. They stopped to bully a kid getting his hair cut. Strong grabbed the clippers and got a chunk of his hair, and they went on their merry way. I'm going to miss these guys because I think that they're not going to make it much past the WrestleMania TakeOver.
No, this is their farewell tour. Watches Adam Cole gets on. He goes on to SmackDown. They just pull him on SmackDown, and he's on SmackDown forever now.
Yeah.
And then he goes right to the mid card,
where he will languish for eternity, as it is written, as it is told. Dijakovic continues his tour of wrestling other big athletic guys to do things in matches that guys their size ought not do. This time he was up against Killian Dane, who looks a heck of a lot smaller when he's in the ring with Dijakovic.
Dijakovic, he's just a fucking redwood of a man.
He truly is. Match was good. They traded a bunch of moves. Dijakovic bust out a moonsault, which I had not seen him do. Dane got in a shotgun drop kick followed by a senton. Dane went for the Vader bomb, but Dijakovic blocked the attempt, and he hoisted him up into a torture rack and hit Feast Your Eyes for the pin. So he is now the number one contender for the North American title match, and it's happening, boys. It's happening. We're going to get Lee and Dijakovic at a takeover. They're going to have like 25 minutes.
Just let it soak in. This is the cake topper. You've seen them before, but have you seen them with the takeover seal quality stamped on that fucking match?
It's a finer cut of meat. Like their matches on TV, that's a good cut. That's like, the New York strip cut. And then this is the flaming young cut. This is the top.
This is it's that Wagyu steak where they don't even fucking take it from. It's not even, you don't even know what part of the cow it's from. They're just like, this is just a cube of perfection.
Yeah.
It's $500 and it's 3 grams. Enjoy
your little stamp of meat. Mercedes Martinez beat Casey Catanzaro. I'm sorry, I skipped over some shit. Undisputed Era was still looking around. They found another person to bully. They ran into Kushida. He tried to fight him off, but he was beaten down. And they stomped on by the heel faction. And Bronson Reed got in their face. And then they took him out, too.
It's just the parade of punishment.
Yeah. Up next, we had something. It was the face-to-face split-screen promo that they did a lot, like in the early '90s in WWF, with Balor and Gargano talking about their match at Takeover. I thought this was good stuff here. I thought overall the show was a very good balance of matches, promos / vignettes, and backstage segments. I think they need to do this a little more often because as much as I love the matches on NXT, it can be a little tedious to go match. I thought this was paced very well.
Yes.
And this promo was quite good. Excuse me. Way better than the shouting matches on like news shows, cable news and stuff like that.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
Johnny's fucking shooting on Finn. At least I didn't lose to Bobby Lashley, what was it, 3 weeks in a row?
Yeah. Then Mercedes Martinez beat Casey Catanzaro. Casey Catanzaro is kind of in this jobber to the stars role right now.
She's got the Cassius Ohno look right now.
Which... I don't know. I guess, Mercedes is a little older. I guess they want to get out of her what they can get. Canzaro's got a much longer future in the business. Maybe, if she quits again. I don't know.
Was she... I don't remember having, like, a super amazing opinion of her work when we watched her in the Mae Young Classic.
She's really raw. Like, she hasn't been doing this particularly long.
Okay.
I think she has a lot of athleticism, obviously, and there's definitely potential for her to be kind of like a very innovative Rey Mysterio type architect for women's matches, if she can kind of put it all together. She's developed a bit since then, but like she still needs more time. Like, she's only been in the business for like 2 or 3 years. You don't just get good that quickly, unless you're like Brock Lesnar or
like
Kurt
Tyler
Angle.
Bate.
Yeah,
and you're fucking 19. You're just like, no, I'm gonna be a star. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm freakishly athletic.
We had Jordan Devlin and Tyler Breeze in a non-title match. This match was very good, I felt. Jordan Devlin got the win with the devil inside.
Did you miss the UE find? They found
yes,
Ciampa.
They found Ciampa, and they attacked.
That was
him
a big
outside.
fucking segment.
Yeah, my notes are messy. Yeah. So they interviewed Rhea Ripley, and Kelly said that Charlotte Flair was on her way to the arena. Ripley said she was more worried about her face-to-face confrontation with Bianca Belair. They announced Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai in a street fight for TakeOver.
Sure.
Yeah, works for me.
A lot of leg breaks going to be thrown in that match.
Yeah. Undisputed Era finally found Ciampa, and he was attacked outside the building by a set of production trucks. Ciampa laid out everyone but Cole as a brawl erupted between them. They fought their way into the building and brawled over to the announce decks. Cole was fleeing Ciampa. Ciampa was hot on his heels. That's how I wrote that. The other three stablemates from Undisputed Era covered to jump Ciampa. They gained up for the beatdown. They put him through the table, and they spray painted a X on his back.
Okay, yeah. And shit was just getting out of hand, and
Papa
and
Regal
they hit the fucking Regal button.
And he channeled his inner Teddy Long and said, "We're going to have a tag team match, player."
He came out, he's like, I was literally just signing the thing. I was making the match, and you guys come out and do this to me. Tag team match tonight. 5 minutes. Get your shit ready. Classic.
Yeah, then we had the match between Devlin and Breeze. It was a good match. Devlin hit the Devlin side. Charlotte Flair arrived in an SUV. Bianca Belair came out to cut a promo. She said she's heading into Portland to become the new champion. She mentioned Ripley calling out Flair on Raw. Belair was about to call out Ripley for their scheduled confrontation when she was interrupted by Charlotte Flair, inserting herself into everything. So typical. Flair came to the ring, and the Full Sail crowd chanted "Welcome home" at her. Flair turned her attention to Belair. She said she had a lot of respect for her, and then she began to cut a promo on Belair when Rhea Ripley interrupted her. Ripley came out to the ring, looking like a force of nature. She got face-to-face with Flair. Belair tried to join the stare down, but she was like just being hype man for a little bit there. Ripley told Flair to stay where she came from, and said that she and Bianca didn't like each other, but around here they had a little saying, "We are NXT," so they ganged up and beat her down, and I was like, yeah!
Get
her. Charlotte insisted on wearing like 4-inch heels, so even though she's not much bigger than either Ripley or Belair, she towered over both of them.
Because she has to be the largest.
Yeah.
Why does the largest wrestler not just eat the other one?
Like, Bianca Belair is probably like 5'10", but she looked tiny in this segment because Charlotte was like fucking all lifted up. But she looked like you do when you stand next to Jake and I. Like, you're not that short, but I'm tall and Jake's, a little shorter than I am. And then
so
you're like,
I'm just down here.
Hi, guys. Baby Yoda cup of tea. Ciampa, Riddle, Dunn faced any three of the four Undisputed Era folks, and it turned out it was Cole, O'Reilly, and Fish. I misspoke before. I think this is where they put the X on his back. Yeah.
They X'd his back at some point.
I conflated the two angles with the Undisputed Era beating down Tommaso Ciampa. This match was really good. Strong interfered for the DQ finish, but the big takeaway from this is that the man's is back. For a couple of weeks, we'd seen these 3 circles with the day's date on it, and they cut to black after they beat Ciampa down, and those 3 circles formed like glasses for a 3-eyed man, and then wow, a psychedelic painting of Velveteen Dream showed up. The lights came up. Velveteen Dream, looking every bit like the lower third of a question mark, came off the top rope with a double axe handle and laid a Randy Savage beat down to the Undisputed Era to stay tall going off the show.
Amazing.
He tried to rip off his tights to reveal another pair of tights, but it got like stuck.
Caught. Yeah, he's like waddling around for a second. He's like, shit.
This looks so much cooler in my head.
That's okay.
Yeah, good show. I really enjoyed the mix of segments here. I like that it wasn't all just matches, but like pretty much every match we got was pretty good. So I think this is a format they should stick to more, or at least work into the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy this.
Yeah.
We'll see
keep it up.
what the future holds for these two shows next week.
Next week is the take-home show before Portland, right?
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
So we should have the full card. The full card right now, like looking like a really, really strong card on paper, and even like weaker takeover lineups over deliver. But like this show looks like it could be a very strong show on paper, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Did you see the article though about Ciampa and Cole being injured?
That was the WWE injury report, though, wasn't it?
Let me see. That's probably
because I know those are kayfabe injuries sometimes.
Oh,
and by sometimes I
well,
mean
I gotta be really careful on this shit. Because fucking nothing goes better together like a hot match and Tommaso Ciampa getting injured.
Yeah, maybe a more iconic duo.
Yeah. Yes, it was the injury report. It was supposedly his ankle.
Right. Well, even if it is his ankle, the dude worked a ladder match against AOP with a torn ACL, so I think he'll be okay.
He's like, I'm not. This whole segment, this whole feud was about me getting injured, and I had to lose my title. I am not getting injured and getting out of this match.
Okay, here are injury updates from a third-party website. Adam Cole needed a couple staples to close a cut in his head. And
yeah, he's injured, but he's good.
An unspecified ankle injury to Tommaso Ciampa. So, we'll see.
They better. It's like Ciampa's not doing nothing.
What would you even do then? Would you move Balor and Gargano to be a triple threat for the title?
Christ, I have no idea. Like, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, well, it's not.
We'll just see if it's not our job.
Yeah. Hopefully the people in Portland are more lucky than we were in Brooklyn when fucking boy Aleister Black got hurt right before our takeover.
Yeah.
We got to see him in April, though, so everything was worked out.
Yep.
All right. So that's going to work out for us there. It was a nice close to the show. We'll be back with reviews for the weekly shows as well as a review of TakeOver Portland the following week. So until then, be well, stay safe, and party like it's 1995.
Peace.